Islam Dwayne Beye. This is Rhonda Arrington-Bey, and Allah my higher self is your wife this lifetime. And first let me say it's March the 20th, 2019 is your wife this lifetime. And as a Hebrew Muslim, my nationality is Moorish American. I am about to read, I'm at Whole Foods in Annapolis, Maryland. I'm about to read the Holy Quran. Okay. I'm Rhonda Arrington-Bey, just in case. And this morning, anyway, continue to read. I have to do my locks. Okay, continue to reading. I'm reading. I'm gonna start off reading. Right now, someone said stay, and I'm feeling a dull, sharp pain in my right foot around my big toe. Okay. It simultaneously. And then I heard something pop open like a Coke can, and then it stopped. As I gave testimony, the dull sharp pain stopped. Okay. Start off by reading the opening in the Holy Quran. Okay. It says, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Master of the day of requital, thee do we serve, and thee do we beseech for help. Guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not those upon whom wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray. Okay. Now I'm going to read chapter 2, the cow. Section 26 is called Trials and Tribulations. Okay. Ask of the children of Israel. Oh, you might also, sometimes I notice I have to get up and stretch after sitting here for a while. Okay. I was just speaking to Malik Beye, my son, or my child. I like to say my child. He also read this morning. My child. Okay. Ask the children of Israel. This is section 26 of trial, and it says trials and tribulation. Ask of the children of Israel how many a clear sign we gave them. And whoever changes the favor of Allah after it has come to him, then surely Allah is severe in reputing evil. The life of the world is made to seem fair to those who disbelieve, and they mock those who believe. And those who keep their duty will be above them on the day of resurrection. And Allah gives to whom he pleases without measure. Mankind is a single nation, so Allah raised prophets as bearers of good news and as warners. And he revealed with them the book with truth, and that it might judge between people concerning that in which they differ. And none but the very people who were giving it differed about it, after clear arguments had come to them, envying one another. So Allah had guided by his will those who believed to the truth about which they differ. I'm going to reread that again. It says, and none, okay, and he revealed with them the book with truth, and it might judge between people concerning that in which they differed. and none but the very people who were giving it differed about it after clear arguments had come to them, envying one another. So Allah has guided by His will those who believe to the truth about which they differ. And Allah guides whom He pleases to the right path. Oh, do you think that you will enter the garden while there has not yet befallen you the like of what befell those who have passed away before you? Distress and affliction befell them, and they were shaken violently, so that the messenger and those who believed with him said, when will the help of Allah come? Now surely the help of Allah is near. They asked thee as to what they should spend. Say, whatever wealth you spend, it is for the parents and the near of kin, and the orphans, and the needy, and the wayfarer. And whatever good you do, Allah surely is knower of it. Fighting is enjoined on you, though it is disliked by you. And it may be that you dislike a thing while it is good for you. And it may be that you love a thing while it is evil for you. And Allah knows while you know not. Islam. Section 27, miscellaneous questions. They ask thee about fighting in the sacred month. Say, fighting in it is a grave offense, and hindering men from Allah's way, and denying Him and the sacred mosque, and turning its people out of it, are still graver with Allah. And persecution is graver than slaughter. And they will not cease fighting you until they turn your back from your religion, if they can. And whoever of you turns back from his religion, then he dies while an unbeliever. These it is whose works go for nothing in this world and the hereafter. And they are the companions of the fire. Therein they will abide. Those who believe and those who fled their homes and strove hard in Allah's way, these surely hope for the mercy of Allah. And Allah is forgiving and merciful. They ask thee about intoxicants and games of chance. Say, and both of them is a great sin and some advantage for men, and their sin is greater than their advantage. And they ask thee as to what they should spend. Say, what you can spare. Thus does Allah make clear to you the messages that you may ponder. on this world and the hereafter, and they ask thee concerning the orphans. Say, to set right their affairs is good, and if you mix with them, they are your brethren. And Allah knows him who makes mischief from him who sets right. And if Allah please, he would have made matters difficult for you. Surely Allah is mighty wise. And marry not the adulteresses until they believe. And certainly a believing maid is better than an idolatress, even though she please you. Nor give believing women in marriage to idolaters until they believe. And certainly a believing slave is better than an idolater, even though he please you. These invite to the fire, and Allah invites to the garden and to forgiveness by his will, and he makes clear his messages to men that they may be mindful. Islam. Allah is great. Section 28, divorce. And they ask thee about menstruation. Say, it is harmful, so keep aloof from women during menstrual discharge, and go not near them until they are clean. Islam, hold on, not Dwayne. Imani, about to call my son Dwayne back to bed. I just had a thought. Imani, remind me to tell you about a thought I just had, okay? I need to write a note, okay? Remind me. Okay? And they ask thee about menstruation. Say, it is harmful, so keep aloof from women during menstrual discharge, and go not near them until they are clean. But when they have cleansed themselves, go in to them as Allah has commanded you. Surely Allah loves those who turn much to him, and he loves those who purify themselves. Your wives are a tilt for you, so go into your tilt when you like, and send good beforehand for yourselves, and keep your duty to Allah, and know that you will meet him, and give good news to the believers. And make not Allah by your oaths a hindrance to your doing good and keeping your duty in making peace between men. And Allah is hearing, knowing. Allah will not call you to account for what is vain in your oaths, but he will call you to account for what your hearts have earned. And Allah is forgiving, forbearing. Those who swear that they will not go in to their wives should wait for months. Then if they go back, Allah is surely forgiving and merciful. And if they resolve on a divorce, Allah is surely hearing, knowing. And the divorced woman should keep themselves in waiting for 3 courses. And it is not lawful for them to conceal that which Allah has created in their wombs, if they believe in Allah and the last day. And their husbands have a better right to take them back in the meanwhile if they wish for reconciliation. And women have rights similar to those against them in a just manner. And men are a degree above them, and Allah is mighty, wise. I'm going to read section 29, divorce again. Divorce may be pronounced twice. They keep them in good fellowship, or let them go with kindness. And it is not lawful for you to take any part of what you have given them, unless both fear that they cannot keep within the limits of Allah. Then if you fear that they cannot keep within the limits of Allah, there is no blame on them for what she gives up to become free thereby. These are the limits of Allah, so exceed them not. And whoever exceeds the limits of Allah, these are the wrongdoers. So if he divorces her the third time, she shall not be lawful to him afterwards until she marries another husband. If he divorces her, there is no blame on them both if they return to each other by marriage, if they think that they can keep within the limits of Allah. And these are the limits of Allah, which he makes clear for people who know. And when you divorce women and they reach their prescribed time, then retain them in kindness, or set them free with kindness, and retain them not for injury, so that you exceed the limits. And whoever does this, he indeed wrongs his own soul. And take not Allah's messages for a mockery. And remember Allah's favor to you, and that which he has revealed to you of the book, and the wisdom, admonishing you thereby. And keep your duty to Allah, and know that Allah is the knower of all things. Islam. So that is, I'm stopping at section 29. And okay, of chapter 2. Now I'm about to read okay. I'm about to read the U.S.A. Constitution of 1787, the preamble. I, Arrington-Bey. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America, Islam. And now, also I'm going to read Article 6 and Article 7 of the Constitution. Article 6 states, all debts contracted and engagements entered into before the adoption of this Constitution shall be as valid against the United States under this Constitution as under the Confederation. This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. The senators and representatives before mentioned, and the members of the several state legislatures, and all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution, but no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. Islam. Money, do more than one. If you need the rest. Okay, the next thing I'm going to read That was, oh, and let me do Article 7. Read Article 7. The ratification of the Convention of 9 States. The ratification of the Convention of 9 States shall be sufficient for the establishment of this Constitution between the states so ratifying the same, done in convention by the unanimous consent of the states present the 7th day of September in the year of our Lord 1787, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 12th, in witness thereof, we have hereunto subscribed our names. Islam.
The clean and the ritual.
Oh, they are? Okay. Did I tell you how well you're doing? Do you feel energized again?
No.
Okay, now I'm gonna read. Okay, now I'm reading. That was Article 6 and 7 of the Constitution. Now I'm reading House Resolution number 75, 1933, Legislative Journal, House page 5759. It says, Mr. Wilkins, Mr. Speaker, I desire at this time to call up Resolution number 75, printer number 1034. The resolution was read by the clerk as follows. In the House of Representatives, April 17, 1933, many sons and daughters of that proud and handsome race which inspired the architecture of North Africa and carried into Spain the influence of its artistic temperaments have become citizens of this nation. In the city of Philadelphia, there exists a Moorish American society made up of Moors who have found here the end of their quest for a home, and of the children of those who journeyed here from the plains of Morocco. The society has done much to bring about a thorough absorption by these people of those principles which are necessary to make them good American citizens. These Moorish Americans have since being here missed the use of their titles and name annexations that were so familiar at home and which are...
Hey Mom, I think you're reading what I read.
That's okay, I still need to read it for myself.
Oh, okay.
Okay. These Moorish Americans have since been here missed the use of the titles and name annexation that were so familiar at home and which are used in accordance with the doctrines of the religious faith to which they are adherents. Therefore be it resolved that this house commends the Moorish American Society of Philadelphia for the efficient service it has rendered the nation in bringing about a speedy and thorough Americanization of these former Moors, and that in accordance with the fullest right of religious independence guaranteed every citizen, which recognized also the right to these people to use the name affixes Il or Ali or Bey or any other prefix or suffix to which they have heretofore been accustomed to use, or which they may hereafter acquire the right to use. On the question, will the House adopt the resolution? It was adopted May the 4th, 1933. Islam. And this is 1933 Legislative Journal, House page 5759, resolution number 75. Okay, American. Once again, I'm Rhonda Arrington-Bey, or Rhonda Arrington-Bey. And my nationality is Moorish American. It's March the 20th, 2019. Islam.